Totes Recall.
Welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie that we cannot remember very well. Then we pause our recording. We eat 2 pizzas, 2 salads. Thank you, patrons. We come back. There's a second half of the show. We have watched the movie. Now we're talking about it again. We know what's up. My name's Dan.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this very special back to school month is Mr. Holland's Opus.
Is that why we're doing it?
I don't know why
I think
we're
originally
doing it.
we thought about it that way.
It makes sense.
But I mean,
Yeah.
August is now the back to school, or is it September? We don't know
I
anymore.
mean, who knows? At this point, the school year's a mess now,
Okay,
right?
yeah, but like September is like,
Like back to school.
Traditional.
Yeah, you're definitely back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got
August is mostly still summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the dog
fair.
days of summer.
Yeah.
Sure,
Because you're just out playing with your dog before school.
Yeah.
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 Got to get that dog time in.
Yep.
that's right. Am I the only one who hasn't seen this movie?
Yes.
I remember the previews for it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, let's put almost beloved segment, pre-summary 60 REI.
Nearly sponsored.
Almost sponsor. We're going to sponsor for REI 60-second summary before the show. You haven't seen it.
Boy, oh boy.
Name pending.
Mm-hmm.
And Molly's
That
going to
didn't
give us...
describe what's going to happen.
No. So this is like a 60-second pre-call, I think we started to call
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
it, where someone who's seen the movie tells us what happens in the movie.
does their best in 60 seconds.
Are you ready?
I am.
And go.
Mr. Holland is the title character, and he is an orchestra teacher. And somehow his son has disappointed him
Wow.
in a way that will make the audience cry.
Ooh.
And like, is his son deaf maybe or something? I'm
Okay.
not sure. Anyway, he has some sort of emotional situation within his family. And maybe he gives more to his work life than his home life. I'm not really sure. But this
30
opus
seconds.
becomes metaphorical as well as literal in terms of him leaving his mark and feeling valued and like he's giving something back. And through it, he finds reconnection with his family and his son, who has died. Is he dead? I'm looking at your faces. I don't know.
10 seconds.
And he falls in love. The end.
Oh.
Okay. Wow. You've got 5 seconds left.
With music.
Yay!
He falls in love with music.
Time. Great.
Wow.
Wow, reading your faces was inscrutable.
You know, that's probably because I don't remember
I
really
do, and I didn't want to ruin it for
what
you.
the movie is about.
I remember one scene from this movie and one scene only.
Go for it.
And it is one kid is bad at staying on the beat.
Okay.
So Mr. Holland puts a football helmet on him and taps him on the head with like a marimba mallet
Okay.
or whatever to keep the beat, and it works.
Nice.
No.
And it's
Oh.
like,
Unorthodox.
yeah, he's connecting with the children.
And he's
Yeah.
played by Richard Dreyfuss.
Yes.
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 We have
Okay.
now exhausted my knowledge of this movie.
Nice.
I don't remember anything about this movie, and I also hate this movie.
What?
What?
Wow, how can
Because-
both be true?
Okay, so when I was in high school, I did not have a car, but all of my friends did. So I was.
They all had one car between them? And
Yes.
you weren't allowed to use
They all
it?
co-owned a car.
Let's buy a car while Beth's out sick today.
Felt very alone. No, I didn't have a car, so usually I had to carpool with other people to things. And a friend of mine and I were both invited to a very fun New Year's Eve party. So we went to a friend's house.
Okay.
We had a great time. We were playing games, and it's the first time I had played Celebrity, which is a very fun game where you draw names and act things out. Having a great time. My friend who drove
Yes.
was also invited to another friend's house.
Oh,
Okay.
So we needed to make an appearance at both places.
Okay.
Yes.
Were
So-
you invited to this second location?
I was because I was with her.
Oh,
Sure.
okay.
So
You're like, I guess you can come because you're in the same car as.
No car Beth's coming?
but this event was 2 friends of ours who were dating and loved to touch each other. You know, in high school, they're just like
Yep.
always like holding
Yeah.
hands or
Yeah.
like whatever. And it was like just them hanging out at the house with her parents.
What?
So we left this super fun party. We drive over to her house, and they are all sitting in the living room watching Mr. Holland's Opus.
Okay.
You left a fun party to watch this movie?
And we missed the countdown because we had to watch the end of the movie, which I hadn't seen the beginning of and didn't really like the context. I was like, okay, what's happening? And so I was just like very disappointed.
Yes.
So I hate this movie for that reason because it was like, it's like to me the opposite of fun.
Yep.
Why did your friend have to make an appearance at this family affair?
I think it was like, I don't think it was a family affair. I think it was just like a friendship time or whatever. But
was
it
it
was
because
like,
everyone else was at this fun party?
what do you mean?
Like that's why no one else was coming to this place, this parent's house, because everyone else was going to the fun party?
I don't
Like,
think
I'm
it
not
was.
going to hang out with
I don't
Jennifer
think
and
it
her
was a
parents
party.
and
Like,
watch a movie.
so she was a year older than us,
Mhm.
and so I think we were all invited to this party that of the kids that were in our grade,
Yeah.
and then
It
they
was
were
a
just
youth
doing their
party.
own thing,
Yeah.
and so it was
Oh.
just like two
Making out in
different
front of the
things.
parents.
Yeah, probably. No, I
Oh.
don't think they were making out, but they did hold hands a lot.
Yeah.
That is
And
really
also because I
hard.
was like so not like that in high school,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I was just like anyone who did anything, I was like, oh well, that's just disgusting.
Wow.
Now I'd probably be like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
Huh.
I just
Anyway.
want to say I feel that to my core because I feel like so much of high school is just trying desperately to be at the fun place at the right time.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like this movie is FOMO.
Yeah.
Like it like that is what it represents to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
So,
Fallen.
out of loyalty, I'll
Opus.
hate it too.
I don't have high hopes.
Wow. I for sure watched this in band more than once
Oh wow.
in
Like
school.
in class, they would just put this on as
yeah,
content.
yeah. My high school band teacher was going through a very hard time in his life when I was in class with him.
Wow.
And so there were a number of days where he just couldn't teach us.
Wow.
And sometimes Mr. Holland's Opus was put on.
Sure. That's
So in
fair.
a way, Mr. Holland was your teacher for that
Yeah.
day.
Oh.
Because it's like not a lot of school movies about a band teacher.
Correct.
Yeah.
No.
Or an orchestra teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
I
think they
band though?
Do you think they show
don't know.
Whiplash now?
Yeah.
And then after the movie,
They're
it's
like-
like there's a lesson here.
It
Yeah.
could be that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
You want me to throw stuff at you?
Yeah.
Oh, although my dad tells the story to me all the time about how like he was a stinker when he was in high school and he was a trumpet player. Dan.
Oh, good man.
Yeah, the stinkers of the band.
Well, kind of a rebel.
And
Yeah.
I
he
can
said-
agree with that,
and
honestly.
He said that yeah, his band teacher would just like whip their what is that called? Baton? Is it just called the baton?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just like whipped the baton at unruly students to get their attention.
Wow.
again.
Yeah.
Whoa.
My junior high band teacher he had a set of plastic like toy keys.
I'm listening.
And he would throw them at us when we were not playing in the right key signature.
Oh, I
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like it's like
corny and mean.
get it. Was it, how hard would he throw them?
I mean, it not hard enough to hurt you, but
But
like
enough to, like,
hard
startle
enough
you?
to be hard enough to startle you and hard enough like to like don't throw things at students.
Yeah.
It's a weird. I have a funny story about that teacher too.
It must
Sorry.
have been a very good band overall, though, because if it had been my school orchestra, they would have run out of keys immediately. They'd had to put them on a bungee cord or something.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
key wasn't like our strong suit.
Yeah.
It's about the vibe,
It's
right?
difficult.
It was about like showing up and
Yeah.
not going to a different class.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not doing drugs in the parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
All right.
Sorry, but you're going to say.
Oh, I was just gonna say that band teacher also played the same instrument as me. Like that was his instrument, alto saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a concert where he was playing along with students for some reason.
Sure.
But because he was directing the rest of the concert,
Yeah.
he didn't have time to like wet his reed.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Ooh.
there's a term for that. I can't think of what it
thought
was.
It was so gross.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Don't have to do that with strings.
so he
No.
asked
Or
me.
brass instruments.
He asked me
Yeah, but
to.
you gotta like dump out all your slop.
Oh.
Sure, you just spit it on the carpet.
You had to do
no,
that?
no. See, they interrupted me at a very important time of the story.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we would do that.
He handed me a cup of water.
Yes.
And he asked me to put the reed in the water like at a certain point in the show.
Got
So
it.
then it was like not
Mm-hmm.
completely a dry reed or whatever. when
Ready
we had
to
play.
rock.
Yeah. So I, at the end of the show, was like, do you want this glass back, and he was like, yes, please. And he drank the whole thing.
Oh,
And, junior high students just were like,
Lost their minds.
lost their
Need
minds.
water.
Yes. That's those are the two things I remember of this
Mr.
teacher.
Band just drank his wood water. I'm sorry.
Mr. Band.
Reed water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still remember that though.
I saw this movie. I think I saw this movie in.
Sorry, I got a lot of
No,
stories.
that was great.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, I also have stories about music teachers are eccentric.
Yeah, those artists.
Well, that's true. Or failed artists, I guess, in some cases.
Oh no!
I'm just saying.
Those who can do.
No.
Oh, that is
I
the
disagree.
worst expression. That is like the meanest. That is like the expression that people use when they're not good at anything and
Yeah.
they want to feel bad. They want to make teachers feel worse than them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Great.
We definitely. I think I watched this in regular movie place at some
Theater?
point.
Oh, theater?
A major motion
But
picture.
we definitely watched it in orchestra at one point as like hey, it's like the end of the semester. We're all exhausted, including the teacher. Let's just watch a
Yeah.
movie. But I distinctly recall there was like a multiple choice that maybe was rigged. I'm unclear on that because maybe the orchestra was like, we're watching Mr. Holland's Opus of like which movie to watch.
Oh, people voted and somehow
Maybe.
I thought you meant there was a
band-
pop quiz.
No. And then, so one of the options was classic 90s blockbuster Independence Day.
Oh yeah,
Fun.
that should win.
Very fun, right? And I just distinctly remember that because at one point, a student who I guess was just having a bad day just like threw something. I don't remember what. Just
Jeez.
threw something at the teacher and just went, Independence Day.
That's what I lost.
Well, this was after the results had already come in.
Oh boy.
I mean, yeah, that seems very.
I
suspicious.
know it's weird to think that people who thought that the results of a vote were rigged would then react in a intense, perhaps even violent way.
Yeah.
But students are pretty hot-headed. They're
That's
young.
true. That's young.
They've got
Young people
hormones
do that.
running through
Yeah.
them. Once you get older like
Yeah,
that,
you grow out of
get
it.
out of that.
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You realize that that's insane and
Yeah.
you look like a fool and a psychopath. But yeah,
Like, there's no way that like a bunch of high schoolers picked that movie.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, although at the same time, this is orchestra, so it was a lot of
That's
like
true.
perhaps
I mean,
quieter
is it-
students
But I just remember
who are just like, ooh, there's sultriness and swears in Independence Day. I can't see that in public school with
Oh,
teacher.
sure. This movie is boring though, right?
Gosh, I don't know.
I don't know. I
That's
remember
what I heard.
enjoying it.
I might have
I
just
mentioned to my husband, no big deal, that this is the movie we're going to watch. And just without any hesitation, he said, it's boring.
Yeah, but your
Yeah.
husband, hold on.
Beth's
Just
boyfriend also said the same thing.
to be fair though, both I'm gonna lay some truth bombs out here.
Oh.
Both of your significant others are notoriously specific in their taste of movies. Sometimes, especially for your husband, Molly, in a way that I cannot even fathom. Like sometimes the opinion your husband has on a movie, I'm always just like, huh, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I don't know. That's what I heard.
All
A
right.
lot of people are saying
It
I-
does feel boring though.
I
But
feel-
I don't know if it's just because it's like a movie that you watch in class. and
Or
it's
like with your family and it's like nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
New Year's Eve and you're not doing anything fun.
You're like, oh, I was having so much fun.
I mean, I will be
think of the snacks that were at the other party.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
probably some good
Oh,
snacks.
they've probably good snacks, like
Probably
pizza
some
rolls or something.
I don't even-
Makeouts
yeah.
that you weren't going to
No,
participate
there
in.
were not going to be makeouts.
It's
But
not a makeup party.
I
That's
bet
why
they
it was
pro-
fun.
You know what? I bet after Celebrity they played Second Blow. But they would have had a great time.
and I would have had a story.
yeah.
Right. But I mean, I will be perfectly comfortable acknowledging that this movie could be like the Forrest Gump of band teacher movies, where it was like very sweeping and emotionally manipulative, and people really liked it at the time. But when you watch it now, it's just like cloying.
Ooh, who
And-
did the score for such a sweet
Great.
and cinematic?
Oh,
I mean, we're
Hans
thinking
Zimmer.
Danny Elfman.
I'm
Was
saying
this
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer?
You're betting
That's-
Zims.
yeah.
You're betting
Yeah.
Elf.
I would lean towards.
I like this.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
don't
Danny
know.
Elfman makes no sense, but it was the first name that came to my mind. So.
I'm
It'd
gonna
be amazing if you
say-
did.
It would be amazing. I'm gonna say Howard Shore.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not, but I feel like I gotta say.
Vic Williams.
Vic Williams, right?
yeah.
He was. What if it was though?
Then I will win.
I will know how to feel throughout. The
And
movie.
what year did it come out?
Oh.
Okay.
I definitely started high school, so
I was in
90?
7th or 8th
Three?
grade when I watched it in class. This was middle school orchestra when this happened.
Wow.
Okay.
But Independence Day had also come out.
94. I'm going to say
You're
94.
saying 94?
Yep.
That's ID4, right?
That's the year that Independence Day came
I'm
out.
going to say 93.
I'm going to say, when was I in middle school?
I'll say 95 just to keep a nice run going.
I'm going to say 90. I'm going to say it came out in 90. What did you say?
I said 95 just to
I was
keep
also
roll
gonna
with
say
it.
95.
You
You're
can
allowed.
both say 95.
I'll say 95 because I feel like that would make sense for it to
95 and a half.
be freely. Check the month. Yeah, I'll say 95.
I do wonder how much this is going to feel like. Remember
The Titans?
Den President's Club? What's that movie with Robin
What?
Williams? Where he's on the chair and it's like Carpe Diem?
Oh.
Dead Poets Society.
Yeah,
Remember Dead President's Club?
that's probably a very different movie.
Because that's like the inspiring teacher
Yeah.
movie, right?
Yeah.
Of our generation.
But
Yeah.
this movie, that's why I feel like this might be also like a Forrest Gump situation where it's just like, remember the past? Because part of this movie is like Mr. Holland through his career.
Oh, is
really?
it?
Yeah.
I only remember him beating on that kid's head.
I just remember his son is deaf.
Yeah.
And so
Oh.
it's difficult for
Oh,
him to
wow.
connect to his
Relate.
son.
Yes.
Oh, is this
Because
going to be a sad movie?
and he
They will be
he signs,
earnest moments.
He does sign a song to his
Yes,
son.
correct.
That John Lennon song.
Yes.
Beautiful
Oh,
boy.
Imagine? Oh, beautiful boy.
Beautiful. Oh, I hit my microphone trying to do the sign.
Wow. Producer. Yeah, that's what it sounds like in the movie. It's not impressive at all. He just he keeps hitting his microphone. It's very awkward.
It's honestly kind of embarrassing.
Okay.
Yes, correct. No,
Well,
this movie
are
is
there any women in this movie at
There
all?
is.
Oh, great question.
at least one.
His
the
wife, right?
mother of his child.
Oh, the mother of his child, not wife.
And is that a...
Is it not his wife?
Oh, I don't know.
Wow,
You said
scandal.
mother of his child, so I assume not wife.
I mean, but also this movie is like a family movie from the 90s.
I think he is. I think they're married.
It takes place in the
Is
60s.
an
or
actress we
something.
know? Are we going
I
to feel
feel
dumb when
like
we
it
see
is.
her? It's like
Probably.
Annette Bening or something.
I feel like we're going to be sad that we don't know who it is now.
Now,
Like,
I got you.
once we watch it, we'll be like, I know who that is.
Yeah.
And is the son somebody that we know, or is he
Now,
like
maybe.
is he an actual like
Tom
deaf
Holland.
actor?
You think it's Tom Holland?
He's probably not even born yet.
No.
No.
Oh, is this based on? It's based on a true
like
story,
10.
right?
Just
Oh, I
Holland.
think it is.
Molly's bet based on a true story.
Wow.
Whoa.
Sorry, your life is boring. Whoever it's based on.
I mean, honestly, on some level, they might be like, fair enough. I lived a
No.
gentle
I'm,
life.
I'm JKing, by the way.
There's probably some. I don't think he's at like an all boys school.
No.
I think there's probably
No.
some lady child students.
I'll make a hopeful bet. Go ahead. That
Oh,
it
you
does
go ahead.
pass.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a drama-rama bet
Oh.
that he, at one point, has an interesting relationship with a student.
Oh no!
Not like it's not like full on like they have a relationship, but he like he's been in a marriage for a long time and he
No.
relates to the students on some level.
No.
Mr. Holland's Gropus.
Ah,
I don't like it.
I guarantee you that exists.
Yes.
Oh
It
no!
absolutely does.
Oh no!
Ew.
I
Ew.
felt terrible that came out of my brain.
But yeah, I feel like he's going to have like a
Inappropriate.
inappropriate, but like inappropriate mostly in his head because he's like
I don't know.
where it's like I'm just saying like he's not just like ooh hello I'm getting very close to you. It's more just
No.
like
even if he's conflicted
He's
about
got urges.
it, it's
Yeah.
ew.
Is this
Oh.
it's not. That's the thing is like this movie is so saccharine that I think it's mostly like
Yeah.
emotional more than anything.
No.
is this like he's retiring? Is that the whole deal?
What?
What
I
is
don't
an
know.
opus again?
It's like a big
great
music
work.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
What is his opus?
Oh, did he write the music for
I
this
think it's a
thing?
metaphor.
I
Is
think
the
it's-
opus the children?
I believe it's both, my friend.
He writes a song and the children.
I believe it
Is
is.
the child's name Opus?
Which child?
That's
his
song.
child.
He does not name his. Well, maybe
would
he
be
does.
great.
That'd be terrible.
Okay.
That'd be like if
That'd
like
be really
that'd be like if a
pretentious.
NASCAR driver named his son Car or something.
Or Talladega.
What?
Yeah.
That would be a great name for a
His
car.
name
that
is
is a fun
Talladega.
name.
Is that what the movie's about?
Or Daytona.
Daytona also works as a
Or
great name.
Engine.
Yeah.
Well,
Did Vin Diesel name his
Vroom.
son Engine in the Fast and Furious movie? I don't remember.
Oh.
No,
his
it's
name
Brian.
Brian
You
after his-
idiot. Makes it very confusing when they say Brian's on his plane.
That's right. It is. I believe he writes music, and he's always like aspired to be more of a big music man, but he is stuck in the
Small
spoiled.
Midwestern town.
Yes.
Molly's bet Midwestern.
That's a good
Indiana?
bet.
That's a great.
I want to say
Cleveland.
Indiana.
Ooh,
Somewhere
more
in
specific
Indiana.
bet.
I'm gonna be spicy and say it's somewhere in California.
Ooh,
That is
That's not
spicy.
spicy.
if I
Why
had
is
to
that
get
not spicy?
specific,
Because most movies.
But it's
are in
spicy for
California.
this moment at this table, sir.
I accept your
okay,
rebuttal.
mild bet I'm not committed to Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Molly, how should we rate this movie?
Okay, I've got two thoughts, and you can pick.
Oh,
Wow.
One is
we get to vote. It's gonna
yes, you get to vote.
It depends.
One
Yeah.
is Dr. Holland's Mopus,
Okay.
and the other is
Who's Dr. Holland?
Flying Band Keys.
Flying band what?
Keys.
Okay, but can I ask more questions? Who is Doctor?
No, I
It's-
love it.
Is that his father?
Mr. Holland's father.
Oh, nice.
Dr. Holland was my
and
father.
his
Please,
mope-
I'm Mr. Holland.
And what is a mopus?
Yeah.
What is a Mopus?
It's like a great sadness.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Your great mope.
So his
Wait, did Dr. Holland kill himself?
Oh, God.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
why he's.
Is that Dr. Holland's Mopus?
Maybe.
And that's why he has
that
such-
can't be a
It's so
rating
dark.
scale.
That's why he has such a strong connection to music. 'Cause he wanted to like.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe Dr. Holland is like a astrophysicist.
Yeah.
And his son is a musician. And
Got it.
that's Dr. Holland's Mopus, is that his son is like
Oh.
Yeah.
And then the
Artist.
irony is that he has his own mopus that his deaf son can't relate to him on the same level with
Yeah.
music. He thinks.
it's like a
Teaser alert.
What's that called? Intergenerational
Intergenerational
trauma.
trauma.
Yes.
Yes.
Teamwork.
I love it.
Or
She
we
did
can
it.
go with Flying
No, that's
Band's
dumb.
Keys. Okay.
Dr. Holland's mopus.
Yeah, that's the clear winner.
So Dr. Holland's mopus, just so I'm clear, Dr. Holland's mopus is the very fact that Mr. Holland is someone who might write an opus.
I mean, that was my
Yeah. Yeah.
suggestion. I don't wanna-
I was sort of feeling like Mopus was like, in this case, something that you could like put in a jar as sort of ethereal, but you could have multiple jars, like let's say up to 5 jars of them.
So you're saying that
Wow.
the like just general ennui that Dr. Holland has about his life and the
As an
outcome,
astrophysicist,
he has somehow found a way to
manifest
bottle
it
his-
physically out of stardust
Wow.
and put it
Wow.
in jars.
wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This
So
is heavy.
He is working on some sort of, I assume, theoretical FTL engine powered by
And
human
his
emotion.
son doesn't know,
Yes.
and so he just opens up all the jars
Oh,
and fills them with various
no.
levels of water to play music.
Oh, he's going to do the spoon.
Doing
Wow.
Oh,
thing.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
Yep.
good too.
And now all of his life's work.
Yep.
He's got
But
watery.
before all of that, we've just got jars of Dr. Holland's Mopus,
Mopus.
and
But-
you can have up to 5.
but
in your
we
rating.
know that these jars are all going to get
Incredibly
ruined
valuable.
Yeah,
in the timeline.
they will. But let's focus on the stardust that's here today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Deep. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson.
Good lesson. Great rating system.
Yep.
Dan, you go first.
I
as
do
we all
go
know.
first, as we and I know. I am Dan, the one who goes first. Okay. I remember liking this movie when I saw it, but now all of your cynicism has made me doubt myself. And I just recently watched Forrest Gump because Nancy and I are slowly becoming cinephiles. No big deal.
That's not a big
And
deal.
it was what?
You're right. That's not a big deal.
Yeah. Right, because 2 people on the podcast have already done it.
Exactly
Yeah,
why.
okay. Just want to make sure we got that in.
Yep.
And I remember, and we watched Forrest Gump, and I was just like, oh, this movie isn't good and does not stand the test of time.
Really?
Hot take.
Hot take from also Dan. So I'm worried this will be the Forrest Gump of music teachers, like I said earlier. So I'm going to take a cowardly approach to trying to create faster than light travel and only give this 3 Dr. Holland's Mopus jars.
Great. Now we all know who goes next.
We sure do.
It's me, Beth
It's
Gibbs.
Beth. Thank you, Beth.
I'm the one who goes second, and I am going to just straight up go with 1.
Wow.
I think I am going to hate this movie.
Wow.
And
Because of FOMO.
because of FOMO, but also because of boringness. I think it's going to be very boring. I think I'll have fun watching it with y'all because we'll make jokes, which were not being made on New Year's Eve. couldn't make fun of the movie in front of everybody who was enjoying the
And
movie.
we did pick this movie of our own free will. Why
did
we choose it?
I think part of the reason I wanted to do it is because I do feel so strongly about I feel like I hate it so much.
And you have only seen the end.
I think we were like maybe 20 minutes into the movie when we
oh
started.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's worse. I
think
thought
Yeah,
you
it's
just had to
not
watch
good.
like the last 45 or something.
No, it was like we missed the beginning. Yeah. So I just, I would be delighted if it turns out that this is actually like a great movie and I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for at this moment in time, I really can't see that happening.
Wow.
My name is Dan. I'm third, as we all know. I also think I will add on, I think this has been a strong earner of respect points during Respect Listener Opinions Month.
Oh.
Wow. Just wait until after I give my rating to say that out loud.
It's not like a top. It's a strong earner. It's
And it could be
middle of the pack.
It could be a
Alright.
spite knob.
That's
Could
true.
be spite knob. My name is Dan.
Recenter.
As I said, I only remember him banging on a kid's head with a marimba mallet.
Yeah.
And that's kind of funny. But other than that, I think I'm going to be bored and sad in a way that I don't feel they have earned my sadness.
Wow.
And I'm going to say 2.
Holy cow.
Molly, you are last,
Well,
but not least,
thank you.
as we all know.
I
As we
appreciate
all
that.
know.
Oh, wow. I've been on a real roller coaster with these ratings. I'm going to give it a cowardly 2.5.
Wow.
And the reason is normally give it a cowardly 3, but I'm also pessimistic that I'll like it. And that was even before Beth gave it the 1.
Oof.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 2.5 of Dr. Holland's Mopuses.
Mhm.
It's
So-
a jar that is slightly ajar.
Thank
And
you.
so half of
Oh.
it is already leaked out.
Oh, it's
Jar's
all
a jar.
Wait, so is it?
And with that, we're going to press pause. Watch Mr. Holland's Opus, and we'll be right back. Hey, listeners, we're going to get back to the second half of our podcast in just a moment. But before we do, I wanted to point your attention to our YouTube channel. And you might think, hey, I've been to YouTube before. I've seen lots of stuff there. What does Totes Recall have to offer me that I haven't already seen? And that's legit. But in addition to full episodes, we also have things that you won't see or hear anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got segments that didn't make it to the show.
Yeah.
But not because they were unworthy, but because our show was too long. We also have things like the game show that Dan thoughtfully created
Thank
and
you.
that
Wow.
I
So good.
gracefully lost. And other
Spoiler.
extras, our watch along, which we may be doing more in the future. So if you haven't already, check out our YouTube channel, which is at
YouTube.com.
do
No,
a search
if
for
you-
Totes Recall.
Yeah.
Do we have the slash or no?
I don't think so. I think
don't
you
think
need to
so.
get like 1,000 subscribers. So you
Hey,
know what?
teens?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get the slash.
And by slash we mean slash Totes Recall.
Yeah.
Not just like a random.
But the way you can actually find it
Simple.
is, and the way you can find, honestly, anything we talk about
Yes.
is going to totesrecall.com. And there's a little YouTube icon in the upper right-hand corner you'll be able to click on, and it'll bring you right to the site.
And once you get there, smash that subscribe button.
Smash.
Smash
Yeah.
that butt.
Oh,
Oh.
Dan,
What?
our
No.
listeners deserve better.
Inappropriate.
Respect.
There's the button.
Give us a like, click on the bell, right? Is that still
Yeah.
a thing, I think?
Get a notification.
Yeah, every time we post. Also, I'm in my driver's seat and I've got opinions about women and pop culture. Right? Right, Molly?
And it's back to the podcast. And we're back. We just watched 2 hours and 23 minutes of soundtrack and some emotion.
Some emotion.
Yeah, there was some emotion.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Steeped in emotion.
Oh,
Lots
God.
of previews
Lots of
here,
just
I feel like, at the end of the episode.
Forced heavy emotion.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, parts of it weren't. There were some.
No, can I be honest?
Yes.
If I had seen that whole movie
Yeah.
when I was in high school, I probably would have been like, I liked the beginning a little bit. But the part where I was like, I think this is where I came in is really when it started to go downhill for me.
Yeah.
Before we get too in the weeds on which part of the movie goes downhill, I feel like I must stop you, Beth. And not because you're a woman and I'm a man, but because...
Just for that
That's
reason.
typical. That's fine.
hey! Because there's a certain segment that happens on this show.
What segment is that?
Well, it's pretty well
It's our
known.
opus, I would say.
I would also say
Segments.
the
Totes
words
Opus.
that come out of it are like the music and notes of our symphony of
Okay.
life,
Yeah.
which then wins us the award for best.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 years running.
That's impressive.
Years running.
Yeah.
We beat out.
And
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I know. Isn't that
And-
wild?
Rolling Stone. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That segment is, of course,
60-second summary. Everybody's clamoring for it. Everybody's yelling. Summarize. in
Summarize
60.
this.
Yeah. We're getting accosted on the street.
oh yeah, like people going through, it's like 60-second summary.
Go, go, go. They're throwing watches in our faces.
Yeah, they're throwing watches. They're not very good watches.
No,
but
bad
Please stop
watches.
throwing them, honestly.
please stop throwing watches at us.
I have so many,
You
like,
can
just welts from
send
all
us
these
a
watches.
Or if you're going to throw a watch, throw a Swatch watch.
What's a Swatch watch?
Stylish and
Oh,
lightweight.
sure.
Hey,
lightweight.
What the? No, we can't just, like, throw a
Send
sponsor
us
in
watches.
there.
You can mail
Hey.
us
Ooh,
watches.
there we go.
Swatch could be as much a sponsor as REI.
That's true.
Okay, but they should, they
Yeah,
should
pay for it.
Throw
for
them
it.
at us by sending them through the mail.
Yeah. You can get that address by emailing us, and then we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
60 seconds, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I, as is tradition,
Yes.
will volunteer. It's a 2-hour and 23-minute movie. I think I'm up to the challenge.
Okay. I think you haven't
Unless
done it
anybody
in a while.
is.
Okay. Here's a quick peek behind the curtain. I plugged my phone in to charge it, and I'm not wearing a watch today, and so I have no timing device on my
Yes, no
person
one's
right
wearing
now.
Oh,
Watch it.
hold on. I can do it.
Oh, boy. Wow. You
boy.
got set up for that
I mean,
one.
there's a little clock right here.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Is it ready? Because I'm ready. Look at me. I'm ready right
we'll
now.
see.
Haha.
We'll
Okay.
Ready, Dan?
All right,
Yeah.
let's see
Are
how
you
this
ready,
goes.
Molly?
I'm going to try a different tact this time.
Okay.
Okay. And go.
The movie is established with Richard Dreyfuss as a musician who is down on his luck. He becomes a teacher, doesn't want to be a teacher. He is bad at his job, but someone tells him to fucking do better, and then he does better, and he's inspired by students. Now it was 1965. Here
you.
comes 1975. We know because it shows a montage of musicians and Vietnam. And 75, more kids, more inspiration.
30 seconds.
85, we're doing it again.
80,
Kids and inspiration.
80.
Kids and inspiration. John Lennon is dead. Richard Dreyfuss almost bangs a student, but then doesn't. And that saves his marriage. And then we jump to 95. All this time he has a deaf son, and that's hard for him. And in the end,
10 seconds.
music is cut from the school, and it's hard, but all his students love him, and they are his opus, but also he wrote his opus, and he plays it for the entire school.
Time.
They clap.
Wow. Very good.
Absolutely exquisite 60-second
I
summary.
was really worried there for a minute
Me
because
too.
his family is fully half of the movie.
Yeah.
I got it in there.
Yeah. Yay.
This whole time.
I would say you put the same emphasis on his family as he did.
Oh.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, as the trajectory of the movie goes, the better teacher he becomes, the worse a husband and father.
Yeah, and then he kind
Yeah.
of circles back around.
I mean, he eventually gets better at both, but by
Kind
then
of a-
I'm over him.
Yeah, he's kind of a
Yeah.
bad father the whole time.
I should maybe interject here that it's based on a real person, which makes me feel bad.
And also teaching is hard, and
Oh, it is. But so
huge
is being a parent.
energy suck.
be
And
honest.
that, like, obviously he's a flawed man.
Yep.
And all humans are flawed.
Although I
and
can tell you the way this story is written,
yes.
there is a critical piece in the middle. It's all about this Gershwin review they're going to do.
Okay, you keep focusing on the Gershwin element, and I feel like that is unfair to the Gershwins, who are, I would say, huge creators of classic bangers in the modern parlance. And I do not feel like you should besmirch their accomplishments because you found that part of the movie and that's segue in the story tedious.
It was
The Gershwin was not the problem.
Yes.
Don't blame Bus on the horny teen subplot.
That's right. It's not Bus's fault.
It's not Bus's fault. They padded the movie for another 20 minutes with a young ingenue.
completely
ingenue.
unnecessary and absolutely exhausting. I'm sure she's supposed to represent him going back to his musician life or whatever, but it was so tedious and inappropriate, and so much Gershwin right in the middle of the movie.
And
Okay, and again, I don't feel like that part was the issue.
Listen, I like Gershwin. I wouldn't mind watching a Gershwin review, but not in the middle of a movie that's already taking too long.
There is a wonderful coach character who's promised to
yes.
teach football players to dance. And I feel, were possibly deceived by that promise a little bit because it mostly focused on the woman, the ingenue, who may or may not be a woman, I guess, legally speaking. I don't know what the age of consent is in Portland. We're not going to get into it. Twitter, don't talk to me. Don't answer me.
Don't want anybody well versed in
That knowledge or to have a strong opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to follow this thread, but I feel like, Beth, you were going to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say that's the part that on New Year's Eve, I think that I started at.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
rough.
And it's just
I mean,
like
that's
the worst
rough.
part,
Yeah.
right? Like, I feel like the Gershwin part could be fun. Gershwin is fun.
Right.
But what was unnecessary was that entire subplot with that
I
girl.
agree.
And it just like, it actually made me physically cringe
Yeah.
as like
Yeah, Beth was having a
they're
real
saying
hard
goodbye.
time.
It was like really upsetting. I did not like his mustache
Oh, come
Oh,
now.
that's
touching the side of her
Okay.
Okay,
cheek.
sure.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Oh, it was real,
Yeah.
it was real hard because it was just, he's flirting with disaster.
Yes.
And the
And
problem
her.
is you're supposed, exactly. And you're supposed to, and I just meant exactly in that I endorse that, not in that I thought of it already. Do you know what I'm saying? I was
Yes.
worried that could have come out either way. Here's the thing.
You
just
think
delete all
Beth has
that.
no original ideas. That's
No,
what we're getting at this.
not at
Yeah.
all.
I
Not at
think
all.
there should only be one woman on the podcast,
Yes.
and you're fighting to
For
figure
that
out who
spot.
that
Yeah.
is.
But I know that I personally had a teacher in my high school who skated pretty close to the edge.
Yikes.
Yeah. And
Was he one of those married a student after they graduated person?
no.
'Cause we definitely had some of those in our high
Yeah.
school.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
I had a teacher who was charged with statutory rape. So they
Wow.
skated even closer.
Well,
Indeed.
Not to brag about who
Some
had
may say
creepier
the
teachers.
closest.
They may have skated right into the
I do not know the result
Bullseye.
of that
Yikes.
trial.
charge.
Wow.
Charge. Yeah.
but it's the kind of thing where I went back and you know how you're looking through your yearbook,
Yeah.
and I went back and read through it, and I was like, oh, he asked me out
Oh.
What?
at the end. Yeah. There were a lot of words. There was a lot of stuff in there. But
When
it
you
was,
say end, you mean like you are graduating high school?
Yeah.
I was graduating. I was
signed your
senior.
yearbook.
He signed my yearbook.
Have a
Let's
great
go out.
summer. Do you like me? Check yes or no.
No. No, it was more like, hey, let's go out and get some food sometime. I would really like to hear your thoughts on blah, 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 whatever.
A separate piece.
It was, yeah. Well, now we're getting to it. But it turned out he had even more of like, there were kids who were 2 years younger than I was. And one of my best friends, little sister, was friends with someone that he took a very keen interest in. And he wrote her a letter that she would not show anyone else.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Yikes.
it was just real. It was real dicey. And the thing is, I really liked him. He was a very capable teacher and a nice person. But, it was uncomfortable. So I think that's part of the reason that I so disliked that whole segment. It was just, it would have been uncomfortable anyway.
Yeah.
But sort of tapping into that feeling of being on the other side of it is just like hardcore creepy to me.
I guess I will give the movie credit where they were like, okay. I mean, obviously, we all agree that subplot was unnecessary, but like at least they had the forethought to be like, okay, the student is also interested in this, right? Like they at least incorporated that so it's not just like it's still a
Sure.
problem, but
It's
at
still
least
a
they
prob-
like wrote it in where it's not just him like lusting after a student on his
Yeah.
own while
She-
writing a
she's,
song
like-
on the piano. You know
She's
what I mean?
actually the one
That'd be much
pursuing
worse.
him
Yeah.
in a way.
The power dynamic is
Yes.
Yeah.
like, grotesquely
I'm just saying
off.
it could have been like
She's
more
hornier,
uncomfortable.
though. I think we're
we can
all
all agree.
saying that she's hornier.
I
than
think we
he
can all agree as a podcast that 18-year-olds generally are hornier than what, 50?
Oh, he would have, that was in the 80s?
45-year-old men from
Yeah.
the 60s and 70s where everyone was smoking.
Well, no, he would have been 50, right? Because he started 65 to 95, and he was 30 when he started.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But he said he was 60 when he got canned in 95.
So he started at 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 1980, he would have been.
Horny Teen was 1980.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I thought she was
confusing because they
85.
go by fives, but then they don't for 1980.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
fair.
confusing.
Yeah.
I guess it's just the midpoint.
John
Hey,
Lennon died,
listen, and we don't know, and maybe the person whose life is based on was like, excuse me, I actually didn't, is that necessary? I'm like, oh no, she's your muse. She's like
Sure.
abstracted.
But
And
what
he's
if-
like, but he's not going to kiss her, right? I'm like, oh no,
Just
he's
on
just
the
going to like
just on the cheek.
come to like real
The cheek, but as
real
close as you can get to
sensual.
the mouth.
possible
while
to
still
the
in
mouth.
the cheek.
Like maybe part of the mustache gets in her mouth.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I don't know what it served really. I mean, it showed how his marriage was rocky, and then he comes home after not fleeing to New York with this child, this teen, and then comes back and tells his wife he loves him, and she says I know, and then they have a passionate kiss, and everything's better.
And I don't think we're supposed to. By the time he goes to the bus stop, I don't think we're supposed to think that he is like actually in any way sincerely considering it.
Sure.
Right.
No, but he does. Okay, so he names this song he's writing Rowena's theme,
Yeah.
which is the student's name. And his wife sees it and she asks, "Who's Rowena?" And he says it's like a Norse mythological character.
Which might be true for all
Yeah.
we know.
And then later she goes to see this Gershwin performance.
This perfectly acceptable way to make money for the arts
Oh,
department.
they are making money.
Ooh, and we know
Yes.
it because Gene, the principal, played by W.H. Macy, in a incredible haircut for the entire generation that he works at the school, apparently is sitting with the accountant or something.
Yeah, they're
like
buds.
they're literally calculating money in the
She has a
audience.
calculator. I was like, she wouldn't have
It's
like a
amazing.
smartphone.
I
It's a
know.
calculator,
No,
just a
she's a time
calculator.
traveler.
To make sure.
Marty,
So
we have to save Mr. Holland.
It's 1985. Yeah.
Wait.
Gershwin. No, so he's not actually leaving his. But here's.
but
Yeah.
so she is the wife sees in the
Yes.
program
Program.
that her name is Rowena. So
It's all there.
the thing that bothers me about that is that they imply that there will be conflict. I don't know if that sentence made sense,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then
Oh,
there
yeah.
not at all.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
they never talk about it. It's like, oh, it's fine now because he's like, I love you, and she's like, I know.
Yeah.
This whole time I knew. I trust you.
Yeah.
Like I really trust you, even though he just kissed that student.
Well, but that's the whole. Oh gosh, I hate giving credit to the screenwriter, but yeah, I mean, he does. There is all that weight behind, like, do you want to come to this thing with me? And she says, no, I should get Cole home.
Mhm.
And there's all this like weight to it where she's basically like, I trust you, I guess. And the only reason, presumably the reason he shows up at the bus stop is to give her the name and contact info of a married couple
Yeah.
that will
Right.
help her out with her career.
Right. Or at least help her from not dying on the streets of New York.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I guess so, but I don't know. To me, the hardest part about it, and I just want to get this out before we move on, is I felt like they were trying to show in parallel that he was both a bad dad and a bad husband.
Yes.
And there were lots of ways he showed he was a bad dad. And this was the way they just sort of showed he was a bad husband. But I want to be like, if he's a bad dad, he is a bad husband because he's letting his wife do everything.
Yeah.
And that is a burden that's very real. You don't have to add on an 18-year-old ingenue and way too much Gershwin just for this particular movie.
Dare
Wow,
you.
wow.
I will say, though, even though I'm defending Gershwin, that this is the moment, and I mentioned Forrest Gump in the first half. This is the moment I feel like where the movie started to get a little Forrest Gumpy, which is why it started to be weaker than the first half of the movie. Because I feel like once we got to 1980, they started doing this thing where they were doing the same shit they did in Forrest Gump, except instead of him just like randomly meeting historical figures and like influencing history through coincidence and circumstance, it was just like through very on the nose lyric choices.
Yes.
So like certainly like some of the Gershwin pieces, just like, okay, we get it. We get it movie.
Yeah. That was a lot of this movie. I felt. We get it movie. And that's why it could have been much shorter.
I mean, I think I agree the entire Gershwin review subplot could have been cut.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But I do not think that we should besmirch the achievements of the Gershwins simply because this movie was too long.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
All right. That's
I
fair.
mean, if they had done a Grease revival, I would be mad that they spent so much time on the Grease revival. So
Right.
Yeah.
Also, it's insane that Gene would ever allow, Gene is W.H. Macy, the stick in the mud principal,
Oh.
would allow them to do Grease, even though that's in the program as one of Rowena's
So
shows.
they did it earlier in the year.
Absurd.
it is absurd.
Absurd.
Like Gene would,
Have you
we've heard the
heard Grease
lyrics of
Lightning?
Grease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
Makes the girls cream.
Maybe,
Oh, okay. All
maybe
right.
Gene,
I didn't need to hear it again.
maybe Gene went through the entire book and just like, and we can't say that. We will not be singing that lyric.
That seems like a
And-
thing Gene would do.
Does. And I think what's also troubling is they do such a good job of setting up that he really doesn't have any time for his family. Like he
Yes.
has no time.
Yeah, that's well
And so for him
established
to
by
fight to
1980.
do this Gershwin review and then deal with it, I was like, listen, man, we all have other things we could be doing right now.
Yeah.
You could just go to the science fair, see your son, and that'd be a shorter scene. I'd enjoy it more. Let's move on.
Yeah.
It's true.
He spends a lot of time. He spends too much time being a bad dad.
Yeah.
He needs to get to not being bad earlier.
It's almost like they could have skipped everything except the scene where his son calls him an asshole in
Yeah.
1980,
Mm-hmm.
and that would have accomplished everything they needed to
Yeah.
accomplish.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah. And one of the most emotionally resonant scenes is where Iris, who's the wife, has this moment where she cannot communicate with her son.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
rough.
It's-
And it was actually like one of the biggest gut punches of the entire movie, which was manufacturing gut punches right and left.
Yeah, the whole development of them like navigating once they figure out that Cole is deaf, like navigating that in his early childhood was very compelling, I thought, because
It
it did
was.
feel very real of just like, yeah, that like she especially played it very well of just being like very frustrated, but also like very committed to like figuring it out,
Yeah.
but not knowing how
Well,
necessarily.
right. And it's not even like she would have had the luxury of not figuring it out, right? Because she needs to know.
She needs something.
Right.
She needs to be able
Somebody
to
in
do
that house
something, yeah.
needed to be able to communicate with their child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't him.
It wasn't him. So anyway, when we say he has a bad dad, one, he gets really upset that when he finds out that his son is deaf, but more importantly, he doesn't learn American Sign Language very well.
Right.
And the result of that is that he perpetually cannot communicate with his son, except for to very easily communicate later, not now. Don't come talking to me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And variations.
And he
Yeah.
his son, like they make a very specific moment when they're arguing where like his son like very pointedly says like, you can't, if you look away, I can't read your lips. Like that's the only way he can talk to his dad is like make sure his dad is actually giving him the option.
Yeah.
To read his
And his
lips.
dad doesn't know that after, Cole's like 18, 16? then,
16
something
at
like that?
least. He's working on a car.
Working on a car. He's got a hot rod out in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Fucking Cole Toretto out there.
So I was pretty mad at him. That was what I was most
And
mad at. It took him
honestly,
so long to communicate with his child.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like at that point you're supposed to be like, he hasn't found a good balance to be a good teacher and a good dad.
right.
But like, do you think he was a good teacher?
I mean, eventually, yeah.
I just don't like, there wasn't any scene that I was like, that's a good teacher.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there were many.
He went from boring to self-indulgent.
I mean, like the thing was like, okay, so when they first are showing that how terrible of a teacher he is, like the first day he's teaching a music appreciation class, and he starts the class by asking what the definition of music is, and then he reads the definition of music, which is terrible because like if you're trying to get students to connect to something, not the way to do that.
Right. Bad teacher.
Yeah, but then the thing that like really shows that he's like being a good teacher is he plays music in a music appreciation class. I'm like, that's not like, like worthy of like a huge demonstration.
Well, but he plays contemporary music and shows how there's a parallel between that and classical music.
Yeah,
You don't think that's a compelling position for a music teacher to take for
No,
teens that don't give a shit?
I guess not.
Really?
No, I just feel like that's something that would make sense to me.
I think if I'm understanding you correctly, that's what he should have been doing on day one. Like that's sort of the beginning good.
I just don't. I think that I think that that's the obvious thing to do,
Right.
and that a great teacher would be doing things that I wouldn't even have thought of. Do you know what I'm
he's
saying?
not a great teacher yet. It's only 1965.
That's true, but at what point does he become a great teacher?
I don't know, somewhere in the montage where Vietnam happens. I assume,
Exactly. It's
right?
they don't really show it; they just imply it. That's how I feel
disagree.
about it.
I feel like I feel like the relationship with the eventual governor of Portland, we finally learn, does show that he's like figuring out how to connect with a student on like an individual level,
Sure.
which is the most important thing, presumably, for a music teacher when you're trying to teach people who clearly have not had a great education in it yet.
and governor of Oregon.
Yes,
Just
sorry,
for
not
anybody
Portland. My bad.
who's already ripped your radio out of your car. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Portlanders would be sending carrier pigeons to us.
Furious. And that's not even talking about the people in Maine.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Fun fact:
Ooh.
Glenn Holland.
Is that her name? Do we remember?
That's
The
his
character.
name.
Oh,
because-
his name,
No,
right.
the real person.
Oh, yes,
the real
I forgot he's a real
on which
person.
this is based.
Ah.
Disliked rock and roll,
Oh.
but used it in class
Oh.
in order to reach his students.
How do you-
And particularly hated the electric guitar. So I feel they may have
Wow.
taken some liberties with
Yeah.
it.
Did you read his autobiography?
No.
Where did you? How do you know that?
Read like a
then?
summary of his life.
Did he
Oh
tell
my
you
God.
personally?
It's
Do
on
you
the
know
back
him?
of a DVD case or something?
No.
Your
We got an article that got.
Okay,
Did
all
your
right. I
music
found
teacher
it.
tell you
I
that?
actually did not find this. Okay, first I started with Wikipedia. And then I had to just look up a trivia site because Wikipedia was so boring.
Oh, Molly started with a Wikipedia.
And
She
then
got so
she
bored
got-
she
had
couldn't
to
even
stop.
read it.
She
Go
hates
to
Wikipedia.
trivia site. What's that? Trivia
Trivia
site.
site.
Trivia
Good
site.
job. Good job, you guys.
What's the trivia site?
I don't know. I typed in trivia. And I have to say,
trivia, find the answer.
Fun facts, the internet's got 'em.
The internet. Coming
It's
to a
probably
computer near
Netscape.
you.
yeah. I have to tell you, like, I have never read such a boring Wikipedia entry in my life. as
About
the
Glenn
one for-
Holland?
No, for Mr.
Mr.
Holland's
Holland's
Opus.
Opus.
And I had to go to a trivia site that was unverified to get most of the information.
Sure.
But I did come across a piece of trivia that I
Wow.
thought y'all might enjoy.
Okay.
Oh my!
This is a trivia game. You
This is-
behind the scenes, you promoted a trivia
There was a
game.
teaser for us alone.
Yes, there
Also,
was.
Molly has a sheet of paper that's folded into 4.
Secrecy?
Yep. And sections, and she just turned the page like a big reveal.
Yes.
Cootie catcher.
Almost like she turned the page on her career as a podcaster, like a
Oh.
Glenn Holland teaching children.
I finally
Oh.
learned to podcast. Now my family life is going to go
Oh,
to
no.
garbage.
Oh no!
That's how it works.
Yeah.
You know, one or the other.
It's true. You can't have
Okay.
it all. Women.
So, this is a two-parter. True or false? Richard Dreyfuss won an Academy Award for Best Actor
False. Wait, in general or for this movie?
for this movie.
Okay, false.
Wait, I thought you said true. I thought you said that he did during it, but maybe it wasn't best actor.
No, that's
Maybe
why.
supporting actor.
That's why I'm saying false because Molly's emphasis implied it was a trick question.
Did it? I was just trying to get out the question. That's a two-parter.
False.
This is easy.
It's a two-parter?
Yeah, this is just the
True.
first part.
Oh, true.
Oh, it's two-part true.
True, he did win. Guess
Yeah.
who he,
Okay.
I thought you said you-
guess who he beat out?
Oh,
Meryl Streep.
No, it's Best Actor.
Oh, right.
For 90,
95?
96.
96.
So it was for movies that came out in 95.
Right.
As this one did, which I guess.
William H. Macy for Fargo.
Wouldn't that be wild?
That would be amazing. Not nominated, according to
Gene.
my mediocre research.
Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump.
Daniel
Nope.
Day-Lewis.
Tom
was-
Holland, Spider-Man, Far
He's
From Home.
not
Richard
alive.
Dreyfuss in a different movie that he was in.
Oh, that'd be
Close Encounters of the Third
Gene
Kind.
Hackman.
Anthony Hopkins.
Uh-huh.
For
Oh,
Nixon.
Hannibal. Nixon.
Oh,
Massimo Troisi for The Postman.
okay.
El Postman.
Is that a Kevin Costner movie?
I think so.
I don't know. Sean Penn for Dead
Fast
Man
Times at
Walking.
Ridgemont High.
And I can give you either the actor or the name of the movie.
Wow. Actor's harder.
Okay, then I'll give you the name of the movie.
Oh, okay.
For Leaving Las Vegas.
Nicholas Cage.
Yes.
Wow.
he
beat
beat
Nick
out
Cage?
Nick Cage.
Wait, didn't he get an Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas?
I
Nick
don't know.
Cage? Didn't he?
Wikipedia, you let me down.
Has he gotten an Oscar?
Oh yeah,
Was it for
Moonlight.
Leaving Las Vegas? Wasn't it for the other movie that came out right at the same time?
Moonlight, and I think maybe adaptation too.
Moonlight is a movie
Wait.
from a couple years
No,
ago.
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck.
There you go. With Cher.
With Cher.
And
I don't know.
Another lady.
What else is he good in? Raising Arizona.
Everything.
Yeah, how dare you?
National
I
Treasure.
I
But
just
yeah,
saw
some
a
things
movie.
he's good acting, and some things he's bananas.
He's just good entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. National treasure.
thought he
Someone
was
said.
He's a
for Leaving
national
Las
treasure.
Vegas.
National treasure
Are you
too.
verifying on trivia.com?
I am. I'm nervous. I got it
Trivia.
wrong.
Andy.
.com. Look it up. Find your facts.
Ooh.
Look it up.
All right, Nick Cage movies. Ready? Go. Face Off.
Definitely won an Oscar for that.
Yeah.
What's that other one that he does? Con Air.
Definitely won an Oscar for that.
Oh, you know what?
Gone in 60 seconds.
You're right.
Really?
Jitsu.
So Nick Cage beat Mr. Holland? Is that what we're saying? Yes. Wow.
Wow, what a trivia segment.
Twist ending. Absolute twist ending.
Shamalam slam.
Wow.
This whole time.
Yeah, shut it down. This one's a dump.
Fucking Cage coming for you, Dreyfus.
Right. Ooh, you think you can beat out a sad man being drunk and hanging out with a prostitute while you're just teaching generations of children to appreciate music? How dare you? You come at the Cage, you best not miss.
That's right.
Dreyfus.
Or like
Dreyfus.
dry miss. Oh, there.
What?
Uh.
What?
That's right. Beth and I are just starting our comedy duo.
Oh, nice. Cool. Okay, so good trivia.
Good trivia.
You're welcome.
I mean, we eventually got to the real
You
trivia
did.
facts.
You know, and I'm glad you really stuck with it.
I'm glad you put us on this journey. It's almost like you were teaching us through
Wow.
Wow.
by making ourselves figure it out for ourselves.
I really appreciate trivia now.
Mm.
I'm going to use this to cut funding to the school
Oh
later.
no, Gene.
Oh, gee.
Gene
Or
fucking
that other
ruled.
kid. Gene ruled.
But not as much as, I mean, if we're talking about men who ruled in this movie that
Yeah.
worked at the school.
Oh, the coach is a shining star.
Oh, mwah, chef's kiss. That coach.
great.
He introduces himself by telling Dreyfus he gets to cut the line because he's a teacher.
Ooh, yeah.
And he's wearing great 65 gym shorts.
Hell yeah,
Yep.
he is.
5-inch maybe,
Maybe.
if that.
He tells, he asked Richard Dreyfuss where he came from, finds out he's a touring musician, and immediately zones in on like, ooh, I bet you met a lot of babes on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes up so often. I thought it was going to be a punchline at some point
Yeah.
later on.
No.
No.
Unresolved.
And Dreyfus will not reveal how
He
much
will
tail
not.
he got.
That's
on the
right.
road.
He's like, I was a different person.
I was a different man. I had a different mustache.
Yeah. But now he's got a wife and a kid.
Yeah.
and a house,
But
a
this
mortgage.
coach-
This coach is
Great at teaching football.
so charming.
Also knows chess. Also,
First real talk, I'd say, for
Yeah.
Mr. Holland.
yeah.
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 Also knows how to teach a marching band how to march.
Yeah, because he was in the army, presumably
Korea.
had some
Yeah, probably.
traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ugh.
Poor guy.
He also minored in modern dance
Mm-hmm.
and then used it to
Please don't say it.
help put together a certain show in the year 1980
Yeah.
by getting the football players as a novelty act to dance for the show.
They did a fine job.
They did a fine job because the coach fucking crushed it.
He's
Yeah.
a good coach.
He's a good coach, good man, good teacher, we assume, I guess.
We don't know.
I
think
mean-
he's just a coach.
Successful teacher.
No, he's got it. He's PE too,
He teaches
right?
phys ed. Yeah.
I think
Oh,
he said that
gotcha.
at the beginning.
I see.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great. He's super charming. He looked super familiar, but I think maybe it was just from seeing this movie before.
I
No,
wonder if he's been in a
he's
lot
the
of
Easter
TV
Bunny.
roles.
What?
Oh,
I wonder if he
maybe.
has a bunch of TV roles, so we haven't seen him as much in the movies.
The thing that he was most known for is playing the Easter Bunny in Santa Claus 2 and 3.
Wow.
The Santa Claus.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
The Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Correct.
With an E.
Oh,
Yes.
not
correct.
the W.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there one with a W?
Isn't there always
Probably,
like
right?
Santa Claus that's got a
Like
cat
a
in it?
scary.
Probably.
Oh.
I mean, that was
yeah.
Silent Night.
Santa
Silent Night,
Paws.
Deadly Night.
Is that one?
It's
Santa
gotta be.
Puppies. Santa
Santa Buddies.
Buddies.
Is it colon Santa Paws though?
No.
Jesus Christ.
This is
That's a
Air
missed
Buddies.
opportunity.
What are they even doing?
Yeah. Santa Paws? No. Santa Buddies.
Okay.
Christmas buddies?
It should be Santa Buddies. No, sorry. Shut it down.
Santana buddies.
If you know the real name of the Christmas themed Buddies movie,
Yeah,
tweet at
from
us.
the Air Buds spinoff series.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Tweet
guess
at
it
us.
doesn't have to have Bud in it.
Hashtag Christmas Buds, and then tell us the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's important for us to know.
It really is.
Yeah. We can't look it up.
I was trying to get a Santana joke.
I mean, we
in
could
there.
try. Oh, what?
A Santana joke. It's been coming up all night.
Let me hear it.
Oh, I was trying to, and I couldn't
Santana
do it.
buddies?
Santana buddies, and then I was like, but then it just has Rob. What's his name?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Because he's a buddy.
Yeah.
I get it.
Just the one.
Robbity?
What?
Robbity.
Now that
Rob
would.
Buddy.
What are you doing?
Santana Robbity.
Oh my god.
Smooth.
Yeah, there was a running joke in the watching this movie where every time Mr. Holland would sit down at the piano to play something, like just to play music to show people either like something he's writing or just what music is, we always wanted to believe he was going to be the secret actual creator of the song "Smooth" by Santana featuring Rob Thomas. It was not the case.
Never happened.
No.
But I think this movie predates that song.
It does.
Or does it?
It doesn't.
Do you think
It does.
Santana and Rob Thomas were watching this movie together, just like, God, I feel so inspired to write our own opus?
Yes.
would
That is
traverse
their
the
opus, by the
generations.
way.
Absolutely,
It
it
is.
is.
How
will
close could
haunt
we get to the sun?
generations. What?
7 inches.
Nailed it.
Thank
But
you.
this is which
Rob
kind of
Buddy.
sun is this though? I mean, like a
The hottest kind of
sunset.
Yeah,
or-
like, I don't know. The hottest part of the day is like midday.
Yeah, about that.
Like a midday sun.
This is a preview, by the way, for the theoretical side podcast that Beth and Dan want to do, where they go take a deep dive for multiple episodes on the song "Smooth." I will happily guest.
Santana featuring Rob Thomas.
I
Yeah.
will happily guest on that show.
Yeah. Great show. Check it out. Kickstarter. We got a Kickstarter
Ooh,
going.
nice! I love that.
Fun that.
$7,000.
Wow. Yes.
$1,000 for every inch close to the sun.
Actually, how much would it cost to license clips from that song? That much money.
Ooh.
You need
Yeah,
that much money.
you
for-
got to buy rights to that song and give them to us.
Yes. Oh,
We'll
Totes
do it.
challenge. I love that. Great challenge.
Great challenge. There are a surprising amount of students in this that are now famous actors.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard is the young boy
Lewis.
who is good at wrestling and sports.
Oh, the hot deal to teach marching for the coach to teach marching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
he is the one from the scene I remember where he gets his head banged on to learn to
Great
drum.
montage.
Yeah.
He's great. He's
He's
so
real good.
affable.
Good
Yep.
attitude. And that's when Coach has one of his real talk moments where
Yeah.
he's just like, if you can't teach someone who's this as enthusiastic as Lewis, you're a lousy teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a fair
Bam.
point, and Lewis was amazing
So
until
good.
he really felt
And he was
so
so
sad when he got
cheerful.
killed in Vietnam.
Oh, we all screamed.
That was
when
rough.
we saw
Because
his
like,
parents.
yeah, because there's a point where Mr. Holland is talking to some punk kid with like that 70s show hide hair.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I don't give a shit. Why do I need to learn music? I'm stoned, whatever. And a person, administrative person or another teacher comes in and brings Mr. Holland a slip of paper. And because we know how movies work, we assumed someone he knew had died in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And we thought I at least thought it was like, oh no, it's that 70s show's dad or brother or
Yeah, me
something.
too.
Yeah.
But then he just walked away and was like, oh, okay, never mind. And then they cut to the funeral. And even then, it's not totally clear.
And all you see, the only other time you see his parents is during the parade.
Oh.
and
They're
you're
so
And they're
proud.
so proud of him. Oh, that was
Awful.
rough.
That was rough.
That was rough.
Vietnam
Hey,
was
Nixon?
bad.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, newsflash.
Breaking news.
Bad war.
Bad. I mean, they're all bad, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
that one was.
Vietnam was really bad. Vietnam in movies, it's cheap. It's like cheap almost at this point.
It is.
But it also always works on me.
Well, it always works because it's like, yep, that's correct. That is
Yeah. Not good.
not good.
Yeah.
That's like 25 years ago this movie came out.
Also,
This movie is 25 years old, right?
Is that right?
1995.
Yeah, that sounds right.
25?
Yep.
So, okay.
Yeah.
26.
That kid then is is one of the people playing in the orchestra during the Opus. The
That 70s show?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got
they
the
show
same
him older.
haircut.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So you
also,
know.
yeah, We all thought Forrest Whitaker was in this movie,
Yeah.
and he wasn't, but then he was.
And Beth correctly was horrified at how young Forrest Whitaker seemed to be.
Yeah. I was like, wait, he aged very rapidly.
Yeah.
But it
it's
turns
his little
out,
brother,
Yep.
Damon Whitaker.
And they look just so alike.
They look
They're
very
10 years apart in
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, according to the movie database, which I checked,
Which one is that?
the movie database,
Is that what it's called?
yeah, it's a open source community led effort,
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
Do they-
opposed to the other one
Yes.
that is owned by
Certain
Bezos the clown.
Someone.
Oh.
We haven't got that money yet.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna stop looking at that.
Oh, you want me to list all the things you use that Amazon owns?
No, don't do it. I won't be able to drink water.
He got 7 inches from the midday sun.
No, he
Oh,
didn't. No, he
boy.
didn't at all.
No, barely that.
But
You
apparently,
suck, Bezos. You didn't get your wings. That's true, actually.
I love okay, sorry, quick sidebar.
Please.
My favorite thing about it is that NASA was like, this is a definition of an astronaut. It's definitely not him.
Yeah, the FAA,
Or yeah.
for the first time in years, redefined what it meant to breach into open space. And it's like just slightly above where Bezos got to. And it was such a great burn.
Great
what
trolling.
about the
Yeah.
Virgin guy?
I mean, he was just in like a weird plane.
Branson?
I don't think he's
Yeah.
even
I
like...
think he was. He didn't.
He
even
was
go
just zero
to-
G in it up in the
Oh,
plane, like
got
doing
it.
the. I think. I mean, he was up there too, where it was like, oh, blimey, it's a ball. I'm Richard Branson. I'm Richard Branson. I've got to space first, so space is now mine. You have to pay the Branson tax.
That's
to
a pretty
get
good
up to
Branson.
space, is it?
I've got the virgins now in space.
Oh, send the rodents to space. It's me, Richard Branson, the space dragon.
It also sounds like that dog from 101 Dalmatians, the hound that
Oh, the Colonel?
Colonel.
the
sheepdog?
Colonel,
Sheepdog?
the Colonel sheepdog. That's part of the pup network,
Excuse me.
Twilight Bark.
The Twilight Bar.
the Twilight Bark.
How dare you? The Pup Network is like the junior version
Yeah.
to like indoctrinate British dogs to be part of the system.
Oh,
Speaking of the
yikes.
junior version, though,
Please.
Forrest Whitaker apparently does show up in the movie as the older version of his little brother.
Do you think he's just like in the background somewhere?
He's probably just in the band. They had
Yeah.
everybody in the
Okay.
band.
I
There
didn't
was
spot
no
him, but
Local notables.
Maybe there was a scene. Here's my thought. I think that maybe there's a scene with real Forrest Whitaker and then Trudy something.
Trudy Ship,
Trudy Ship,
our editor.
editor extraordinaire, cut it because the movie was already too long. But I also wonder.
And I bet she really went to town asking, can we get rid of this whole
Oh, I
Gershwin
believe
review
Yeah.
section?
Trudy Ship wanted to cut out way more, and they wouldn't let her.
yeah, I think you're right.
My theory is that Trudy Ship cut out all the parts or most of the parts that involved Iris that would make it seem like they had actually had an arc before they're like, I love you.
Oh,
Think
yeah.
about it.
Trudy Ship gonna snip.
Trudy Ship's got a snip, man.
I love Trudy Ship.
Trudy Ship's got a snip.
Snip, snip.
Okay.
Trudy.
Should we explain that at the very end of the movie, there's this very moving moment where Mr. Holland's wife and son help him pack up. his
Excuse me, I
classroom.
believe Dan covered it in the 60 seconds.
I don't know how thoroughly he
Probably
covered
like
it.
1 second of the 60
But I
seconds was.
feel like we've touched on it a couple of times.
Yes,
So
okay.
I
Yeah.
just want to bring it home
Please.
that as they're leaving the school building, Mr. Holland hears something amiss, which is a band playing Luai Luai.
The summer
he-
program doesn't
the-
start for a couple
2
weeks.
And he walks into the auditorium, and sure enough, they have arranged this thing where many of his current and former students have all gathered. They
In
put
this
up a big sign,
massive auditorium. That's a lot of
says,
students.
Goodbye,
That's a
Mr.
lot.
Holland. And so you're flashing, and you see that it's many generations. And then his wife gets on stage, and she's buying time until the real MC gets there. The real MC gets there, and it shows the governor of Oregon,
Whoa.
who had been a struggling clarinet
Gertrude.
player,
Wang. His
Gertrude.
first
breakthrough
breakthrough.
as a teacher.
Mhm.
And when she takes, and then she says, Mr. Holland, we are your opus. That's a very beautiful. I actually got chills.
Yeah.
During this one part of the movie. And she's like, we are your notes, and we know you also wrote a piece of music, and we will now play for you Mr. Holland's opus. And so she holds out the baton. He comes up, the curtains open, and it's not just an orchestra about to play his opus. It is people from different classes. It's got class of 76, class of 86, and so on.
It's very touching.
It's very touching. It's great. And then they end on that song, Blackout. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. That's the song he's been working on
For
the whole movie.
decades.
For like
Yeah.
decades, yeah.
And did Iris just like sneak it out of the
I
house
assume,
or whatever?
right?
I mean, he was always dropping it or the wind was blowing the pages.
What sticks in my craw a little bit about
Okay,
that
here we
last
go.
scene is that he is leaving the school because budget's been cut.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gene.
Art and music are gone. And Gene's the bad guy, but also like it's above him.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
Gene
It's
has
the
to make
school
cuts
board.
because he doesn't
I
have
mean, they
money.
show Holland like testifying at the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the governor can't do something about it. She
Right.
loves him so much, but she can't like keep money for music in the
She's
school.
like, I'll play oboe for it.
Let
No,
me-
what did she
I
play?
did not get
Clarinet.
elected, okay, based on music.
Let me propose something to you.
Yeah.
Let's assume that there is an intransigent legislature, right? That is just full of that douchey former student of his that runs the school board.
Yeah.
And they're all just like, blah, 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 money, money, money. We're going to mine the mountains for coal
Nickel
dust.
copper.
Nickel copper. Thank you. We're eminent domain, cut down all the trees.
Yeah.
Cigar. So maybe she's
Okay.
trying,
yeah.
right?
Trivia.
Ooh,
Oh.
from?
Yes.
Where?
You've already sung a song for this one.
Trivia.com?
I only went to the one trivia site.
Oh,
We don't know the name.
but now we don't trust it.
Well, and you shouldn't. Actually, you shouldn't trust me because it doesn't matter. Here's the point.
Yeah.
True. False.
Anthony Hopkins.
That the person who played the chairman of the Board of Education
Yes.
that Richard Dreyfuss fights with was, in fact, in his own way, a Mr. Holland,
What?
Oh.
in that he had planned to become an actor, got sidetracked into teaching, had taught for 30 years, never had a major teaching role until he got this role in Mr. Holland's Opus.
Major acting role.
Wow.
Major acting role. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was in some ways his own journey personified.
Yeah.
Grumble, grumble. I'm the chairman of the board.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, Chairman.
Yeah. And I don't know where else I'll fit it in, so I'll just mention now that every character who is deaf in the movie is actually as played by a deaf
Oh, good.
actor.
I was
That's
wondering
very
about that.
nice. It
That
really
is great
movie.
I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if Cole,
news.
like the adult Cole, was like legit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, I gotta say, there's a really heartbreaking scene at the beginning where the expert tells them that Cole will gesture and they shouldn't gesture back.
Yeah.
And it is like some harsh 1960s stuff.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Where I'm just like, oh, I'm so glad we've come
Right.
a long
Or
way
they're just
from
like,
there.
yeah, kids' brains are pretty plastic, so just fucking communicate. And,
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was great.
Oh,
Not that part. Later on, it was great.
Right.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
to
Right.
clarify.
quick shout out because we've been talking so much about Gene. Gene's predecessor was played by
Yes.
Olympia Dukakis, who fucking
Precious.
ruled.
Amazing.
She
Character
was
and actor.
take no nonsense.
she's great.
Principal lady who does not take any guff
Jacobs.
from. Thank you. Principal Jacobs does not take any guff from Mr. Holland. She calls him out when he's a little sourpuss.
Yep.
But she also respects what he does and loves the arts. And at the end, old, grumpy, 60-year-old Mr. Holland points at her picture and says she would have fought for it. And Jean said she would lose. And he's like, I know she would lose, but she would have fought for it. And you know what? She would have.
She would have.
And she would have brought that Dukakis energy that I loved so much.
And that poise. Oh, even handing out diplomas.
Oh, the poise.
Just so good.
So good.
And we keep mentioning Gene. This was, in fact, the vice principal who's
Yes.
played by William H. Macy, who in this movie is credited as W.H. Macy.
Mind-boggler.
Yep. And he's as square as his haircut.
Yes. Great haircut.
He's so mad about rock and roll.
Yes.
So
Oh,
mad. And
love it.
skirt length.
yes.
Oh, that was upsetting.
That is
Yeah.
real as hell,
No,
man.
I know it is.
Yeah.
We used to have a rule where it was like your tank top strap had to be at least an inch wide or
Yeah.
something like some
Were they
bullshit.
coming up to you with rulers and like
No one-
slapping your
I
shoulder?
think
No.
they probably just eyeball it, right? It's just like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but like it was
So
a thing.
stupid.
It should not be a thing.
You're telling me Coach is walking around with a 2-inch inseam and the girls can't have their knees exposed?
Yeah. And the weirdest part about it is that like the way that he gauges how long their skirt is he's like, get down on your knees.
Yeah.
Inappropriate.
Confirmed.
Totally
My
not
mother had
okay.
to do that when she was
That
a
is
teenager.
messed up.
Yeah.
I
think
do
that's
not like
probably
that.
Part of the point.
Right.
Ugh, yes,
Gene-
I understand. It was the
Gene
point.
represented all that is bad of public education, but even he has a little bit of heart.
Now this is 2 movies where I have hated William H. Macy's character.
He's a
and
great-
he's honestly, I'm starting to hate him.
No,
Oh,
he's
no.
a good actor. That's
I
why
can't-
you hate it.
No, he makes me so mad.
Yeah, but he can't be innocent in the whole scamming colleges.
Oh, that
Yeah,
college
that's
What?
true.
varsity blues
His
scandal.
his wife went to prison
yeah.
Felicity Huffman.
for
2 months, 2
Scamming.
weeks.
scamming
Oh, are
colleges.
they a thing?
Yeah,
William
they're
H.
married
Hoffman? Yeah.
forever.
Oh, all right. Then, yeah, he was in on that scam.
Ugh.
He didn't go down for it.
Yeah,
No,
man. Come on.
Yeah, he was either in on it or he's a bad
Or,
dad.
yeah, he was probably too busy with his acting career.
Okay,
Wow.
Not paid attention.
And he
He's
was
like,
I don't know, just get him into USC.
Felicity, I'm writing my
My Opus.
Opus, my self-styled, self-directed starring
I gotta
movie.
be shameless every day.
I gotta be. What? Your kid needs to get to college? Just buy them. Buy it for them. I don't care.
Get him a side door.
Molly, as much as she hated this movie,
We assume we haven't gotten to the ratings.
appeared to hate this movie next to me on the couch.
Yeah.
Also could predict the movie and maybe wrote it.
Oh.
You
Wow.
were calling out lines
It was-
left and right from
From Gershwin on, I feel like.
earlier than that.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the conversation where she said she's pregnant.
Yeah.
That was the first one you called.
Yeah,
sure.
it was incredible to watch, honestly. Like, Molly just was reciting lines from the film before they even happened.
You know how movies work.
And then
I
every time going, have I seen this movie? No, I don't think so. Every time you predicted a line was a little mini roller coaster of like, maybe you're wrong and you actually have seen this
Yeah,
movie.
I love how you were so like thrown off by the fact that you were right, that you assumed you must have already seen the movie.
It was real. It was 100%.
It was impressive.
Thank you.
And then at the end, even like he finishes his Opus, and Molly like very cynical, just like blackout, and then it blacks out.
Yeah.
Wow,
It was amazing.
it was amazing.
It is a very specific and possibly one-time skill. So I'm glad glad it worked out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad we were here to witness it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just you like at home on your couch, like Nate.
No, it's
Come in
true.
here.
It usually is my husband, and he's like, he's like, how do you have this sense of things? Because I will sense danger, get up and walk to the kitchen, and 30 seconds later, he's like, how'd you know that guy was gonna get? I was like, shot. He's like, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Before we get to our final reviews of this movie, before we reveal how much Molly hated this movie, we like to engage with our fans who are like our students.
How so?
No,
We teach them.
nothing.
Nothing.
They yell at us from afar.
Hold on. We taught them about
Okay, we did teach them to cool it. And
well, we're trying.
real quick, I just want to say that they're
Okay, yeah.
at some point, this kid, Cole, their son,
Oh, yeah.
is possibly wearing a
Possibly.
shirt
Ooh.
that says "Cool It!" exclamation point. The font looks very cold.
Yes, it looks icy.
Yeah, it looks
He's got
icy,
a-
but he's
like
got a flannel on.
I think it says do it.
Like just do it, like a Nike thing.
Yes, but without the just.
So it's not a Nike
It's just
thing.
do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think
The
Only
font was
do
so
it.
Honestly,
icy though.
I'm gonna really I'm gonna just go through that
by
section
frame.
again,
And, like,
frame
frame
by
by
frame.
frame?
Yeah, and see if I can
I
figure it out.
honestly was so pissed because I knew like, oh, this is the scene that he gets mad at his dad. I was like hoping he would just like angrily take off the flannel.
He'd be like, "Dad, cool it."
Yeah. Honestly, like I was on the edge of my seat. I was like, is that a cool shirt?
Anyway, we did teach you to cool it. Keep it
We're
cool.
trying.
We're trying to
We're
teach.
trying to teach.
I believe we
Teens,
should remind
stay cool.
everyone that I believe at something like $10,000 a month,
Okay.
we will abandon this podcast and
Right.
go on the road
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
to high school
With a synthesizer.
with a synthesizer, different plain colored T-shirts,
But definitely
Track
suspenders
suits.
of some kind.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
we will do.
And we'll sit backwards in chairs.
Yep.
sit backwards in chairs,
Backwards hats.
and,
then the-
gather all the hot teens
Yep.
into the gymnasium,
And then we'll
sit
tell
them
the
down,
coach about it when we get back.
get really close to them, and just tell them to cool it.
Cool it.
Yeah.
Put our mouths right next to their cheeks.
Yeah.
Just like Right,
so we can feel the heat coming off of it.
Exactly,
No,
and
I
then
don't
we'll
know about-
know when they start to cool because they'll feel it.
I,
And then we'll get up and
We'll all grow mustaches.
I was-
Beth and Molly included.
I was on board until the
These red hot teens at these high schools across our nation need to cool it.
Then we will use the music of George and Ira Gershwin to teach them about cooling it through some song parodies.
Yes. And maybe some light skit work in between.
A little.
To illustrate circumstances where
Yes.
you are very hot.
Yes, and you need to cool it.
Okay, I just want to say I've always been on board with the idea of the outfits,
Yep.
Yep.
the synthesizer,
Yep.
and
Yes.
the skits.
Mustaches.
100%.
And that's it. You are on your own with this mustache and kissing.
Yeah.
I never said kissing. Molly.
Molly.
I said we would get our faces very,
Very
close to
close.
their hot cheeks.
Ew!
That's very different from kissing.
Oh, this is so bad.
How else are we going to know when they've cooled down?
What, are we going to hand out thermometers before the show?
It's
Yeah.
none of our business if they cool
That
All right,
down.
kids.
It's literally our business in
That
this
is-
situation.
Our job.
We have been hired by Gene to cool these teens.
Yes.
They're too hot. They are trying to get his staff to move to New York with them.
Oh
They're wearing
my.
skirts that go just above the knee.
Are you kidding
When
me?
they kneel on the ground, they don't crinkle their skirt.
They may or may not be smoking the wacky weed before music class.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh. Well, I'm not sure. It's the teens. that
You can
need
play
to cool it.
synthesizer.
Okay.
All right. You'll be on stage. You'll be on stage. Dan, Beth, and I will come down with our chairs. We'll get in real close.
So that's just a quick reminder on that tier on Patreon.
Patreon.com.
So what we're saying is that we have taught you to cool it.
Yes.
We taught you to fear us showing up at your high school.
Hey, you don't want it to show up? Don't be so hot.
Yeah.
Boom. Taught.
Have you ever thought about trying not to be so hot?
Mm-hmm.
Teens. So anyway, we engage with our fans, and one of the ways that we do that is, of course, to
Ask questions on Discord.
ask questions on Discord, and we have one question.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Discord. Shay RG asks, "Ooh, how does it hold up for disability representation?"
Ah.
And I believe we kind of covered that. I think pretty good. We covered that all the deaf characters are played by deaf actors,
Yes.
which is good. I think it does a pretty good job in terms of illustrating Cole's
Yeah, it
as
was
a complete
'Cause
person.
yeah, and like the parents' struggles are very much focused on them, right? Like there's that whole that scene Molly was talking about where Iris is like having a very stressful time about it, and that seems genuine. But she also they then demonstrate for the rest of me that she's like committed to like communicating with him and learning sign language or learning ASL, I suppose, in this particular case.
No, and I think, I mentioned before, but the juxtaposition between what the early advice was versus the later schooling and advice, I thought was very,
Yeah.
it's a relief to see that.
And like they made a point of showing how independent Cole was as an adult,
Yep.
which I thought was a nice touch.
On the other hand, he exists. His disability in this
Right.
movie exists to be
Like
a hurdle for Richard Dreyfuss.
Right.
But then Richard Dreyfuss becomes his own hurdle.
Very true.
So pretty good.
Also a
Yeah.
hurdle. That Gershwin review.
How
boy.
dare you?
wow.
I think as 4 people who are not part of that community,
Yeah.
we are safe enough to say, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I am really glad to hear that all of the actors
Yeah, me too.
were actually deaf.
I was worried about that.
Yeah, because that's not always the case.
No.
Then you have actors pretending to be deaf, and it's very offensive.
Yep.
I don't know if this has been made clear over the 100+ episodes, but we're kind of dummies when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Us 4 dummies say
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
With an upward
with
tick.
a rising.
Rising, a hopeful,
Yeah.
seemed good for 1965 to
But if we're wrong,
1995. Oh, we should read up.
Yeah.
Okay, I tell you what, I will Google and I will let you know in Totes Regrets.
Okay.
about this
sounds great.
particular movie.
Like how, like what
Great.
people think of it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
What they got wrong, what they got right.
Yeah.
Great.
What they learn for next time, except there won't be one, except maybe there will be
Mr.
because
Holland's
they're
Opus
remaking.
2?
Do you think they're going to remake Mr. Holland's
I tell you what,
Opus?
if they wanted to follow Cole's life, I would be into that.
They'll probably
yeah.
Very
remake
cool.
it, but
He's
it'll be
Mr.
like,
Holland.
let me teach you kids about hip hop.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
A new set of problems.
It'll start in the 80s. And
Oh.
it'll come to 2020, whatever.
Okay.
And then old, I don't know, some actor who's hot right now.
Just like Richard Dreyfuss was in 1995.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
Is he hot? I don't know.
He was an appreciated older actor at that point.
Yeah. I do want to touch really quickly on how Molly bragged that she was alive in 95.
Yes.
Molly, this movie, I believe,
Oh.
some takes place before and they don't know about you. And then at some time in the middle of the movie,
Yeah.
they have the
Oh,
opportunity to
right.
know about Molly J.
Right.
Instead, they just make a fucking Gershwin review.
That's why she's so mad.
That's why she's so mad. It's like, you could have known me.
1980, you could have been talking about Molly J's.
Yeah, I was 5.
Could have been exchanging Reader's Digest
Do you
issues.
remember my public kindergarten teacher trying to explain to us there was a new president and his name was Ronald Reagan? She was like, girls and boys, Mr. President Carter is no longer president. Last night, Ronald Reagan was elected president.
Oh, no.
And
Upset.
she was a black lady in Memphis, Tennessee. So my guess is she was not celebrating this fact.
She was doing her part to
She was
inform the
able to, like,
students.
students, get ready for ketchup to be designated as a vegetable. And good luck to you in the next 8 years.
Or even the next, let's say,
Ever since
40
then.
to 50. Yeah.
Yes.
Fair.
Not great.
Great legacy.
Any questions about Reagan on Discord?
No, that was
Okay.
that was the sole question. Thank you
Okay,
for that
got it.
question, Shay RG. We also read reviews in the style of a character from the movie we have just watched.
Boy, oh boy, we sure do.
We got
Holland.
some people, no one with a notable
We got
way of
Coach.
talking. We got Trudy
got
Ship,
Holland.
William H. Macy,
William H. Macy,
Olympia Dukakis.
Dukakis.
Or we can always do Nick Cage.
Yeah.
As what we
I
see in
mean,
the movie.
Nick
we've-
Cage was the person who won
Yeah.
the
Or-
Oscar.
Or
That's true.
Trudy Ship loves to snip. If anybody feels like they know Trudy's voice. at
Oh,
this point.
I think I could do Trudy.
You could do Trudy
yeah,
Ship?
I think I could
All
do
right,
Trudy
can't
Ship.
wait.
I'd like to remind you,
Yes.
Molly. Trudy Ship's got a snip.
She's got a snip.
Snip.
Okay. Does she have reading glasses?
Oh, Trudy has reading glasses for
Okay.
sure.
Oh, absolutely. After years of editing, come on.
Yeah, she's got to see it close.
And I begin. Fantastic. I feel like these guys are all my friends, and I'm very grateful. They have been doing this for 7 years. Congrats, guys.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you,
Ship.
Trudy.
got a bit of a clip.
Yeah.
She did.
Ship's got a clip.
That was the first draft edit. She was going to go through and smooth all that out later.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Just cut it down to a few words.
Yeah, left out like many sentences here that just went on and on about
Oh,
how much
sure.
they enjoy the Wikipedia segment.
Yeah.
But
Oh, okay.
I clipped that out.
Right. And how, like, you're their favorite host.
Yeah,
And,
if somebody else wants to read this in the voice of Nick Cage, we can just pretend that never happened.
Oh, that was great.
no,
Oh,
I mean, we can't.
love it.
Yeah.
Did you say who that was from?
Oh, I am so
I mean,
sorry.
Trudy cut it out because she's like, it's not about the person, it's about
Trudy,
the content.
I'm the director of this podcast, and I'd
it's
like to
from-
know who it's from.
Hey, Cece, via Apple Podcasts.
Hey,
C-E-C-E. I hope that's how you say it.
I love the gin blossoms. I'm Trudy Ship.
Thank you so much, Hey
Yeah,
Cece.
thank you.
I would have preferred. Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
That was exactly what you did, except
Great.
with Dan's aggressiveness.
Oh, got it.
We all bring our own.
He kind of guilted
Yeah, I
the
get it. I got it. Okay.
gilded
Trudy,
the gin
snip.
blossom.
Trudy, snip.
Trudy Ship.
Ship.
Trudy
Snips.
Ship loves to snip.
And she did an excellent job. I just want to be really
She
clear.
did.
an
She did her
excellent
best.
job.
I bet she was given 9 to 10 hours.
I agree.
Of
Just-
film
Oh,
for the
I think
first half.
to edit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you? So you spent an entire day shooting Mr. Dreyfuss and Mr. Howard just dancing in the music room. That's right, Trudy. We got. He's teaching him how to have a rhythm. All right, and this is important to the story. Yeah, I mean, just put in whatever. Just put in the best parts.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Ship's gonna snip.
Trudy Ship's gonna snap. Cracks her knuckles. Adjusts her glasses.
Glasses on.
Yep.
Gets down to it.
Gets down to it.
Well, thank you, and everyone who has ever written a review.
Yes.
Thank you.
And everyone who listens to the show.
You are our Opus.
Oh. Oh, right.
Sorry. I made it into a thing.
That's fine.
Nobody else did.
Crescendo.
Oh.
It's music term.
Oh, that was my Opus.
Our rating scale, as we all remember, is Dr. Holland's Mopus, which are jars of
Stardust.
Stardust.
Beep, 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 breaking news. We also had a voicemail.
Oh,
yes.
What?
Breaking
But-
news alert.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Got snipped.
I feel it. Beth Gibbs gonna snip.
Beth Gibbs got a snib.
Got a snip. No, the question is great,
Okay.
but I feel like it is better for October. So the person who called in and left us a message, listen to our October episode, and we will answer your question.
We received it. We honor it.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
look forward to
this is
answering
like
it.
a little nod.
Yeah.
Tip of the hat.
Tip of the hat.
Tipping our
We're
caps.
doffing our caps.
Yep.
We're winking.
We
we
get
are.
it.
You like
Will.
a finger gun.
Finger
Okay, but we're
Yeah.
not being weird about it.
No.
We're being cool about
Putting
it.
our
cool.
hot
We're
mustache.
getting very close. We're getting very close to your cheek.
Yes, our mustache is next to your cheek, and I'm whispering, "I hear you."
The yet to be cleaned up looser follicles of the mustache are perhaps
Ew.
reaching out.
No, nope,
Shut it down.
nope.
Snip.
Anyway, look forward to that.
Ship should snip that mustache. Actually, I liked his mustache.
I did too. We'll talk about it off pod.
We'll talk.
Okay, so these jars that Dr. Holland has are filled with Mopus, which is Stardust. It is ennui in the form of Stardust.
Yep.
Okay.
He's taken the stardust and found a way to synthesize it into his own
Yes,
negative feeling towards his son's life choices.
that's
Yeah.
right. He is
Correct?
disappointed in his son, who is an artist.
Yes.
And at this point, all the dust is in the jars. But we know sometime in the future they're going to get wet
Yep.
and soggy.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be transformed into a musical.
Oh,
that's
right.
right, that's
He's going to
right.
go the woo 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 woo.
Is he
Yeah.
doing it on the rims or is he doing it on the sides with different levels?
Oh.
So like
Both.
He's trying
He's
to.
that talented.
He's an
talented.
artist.
Wow, what a
Wow.
Okay, he almost went to New York with an 18-year-old. Okay.
Wow.
that's an artist.
That is an artist.
Ooh, great. And Dan, you were first. You gave it a 3. You liked it when you first saw it, but maybe the rest of our cynicism would bum you out. And also, is it just music teacher Forrest Gump?
I would say it is not quite music teacher Forrest Gump. And I would say that with the confidence of being the person who's seen Forrest Gump the most recently, as any of you. Because that movie, like literally, there were moments where like he'd be on a TV show with John Lennon, and fucking John Lennon would like say a line from Imagine, and it'd just be like, "Oh, just came to me while speaking to Forrest Gump." It's just like, come on, screenplay, stop it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was just like, there were some Gershwin moments where the lyrics were a little on the nose, and it's like, we get it. She's horny for Mr. Dreyfus, Mr. Holland.
It seemed less like Mr. Holland was influencing history and more like history was influencing Mr. Holland.
Right.
Wow.
My point is, it was not as just like beating over the head with it like Forrest Gump was, and also was probably just I don't know. I like this better than Forrest Gump is what I'm saying.
Wow.
What else did I say about it? Oh, that you guys would be cynical and ruin it for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it did. I don't know how Dan's going to feel about this movie, but I feel like this is why I said earlier it might be a Romeo and Juliet situation where I thought it was fine and everyone else is going to hate it.
Yes.
So I'm going to be Beal Bold
Bassoon.
Bassoon
Baritone.
Baritone
Bagpipes.
Bagpipes. And I will say, quick question, what is a half jar of Mopes?
Oh, it's just where they lift the lid off and half of the stardust is.
Oh, like it
escaped.
kind of just like filtered out into
Filtered
the
out.
air and like, so it's just like exposed to the air too long. And
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
3.5 jars of Mope.
Wow.
Wow.
Opus.
No, you know what? Screw you guys. 4 full jars. I thought most of it was fine. I agree the Gershwin sidetrack was
I
unnecessary.
feel like you just added that half on there because of the Gershwin thing.
I thought the first half especially was actually just, I don't know, interesting I'm a guy who was a music student for most of my life, and I
Yeah.
found that part interesting. So Fuck you guys.
Wow.
No one else has rated it, but okay. Beth, you gave it a 1. You thought you would hate it due to your traumatic FOMO
It was traumatic.
moments, and
Yeah.
it would be boring.
Moments. No, that's a real word. Never mind.
Foments?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Foment.
when I saw it the first time, it was a bad situation to see it.
Yep.
And I saw the worst part of the movie, which is the second half. So I didn't get a fair viewing the first time. I still found it to be too long and very slow in some parts and a little patronizing in other ways. So I'm gonna give it 2, which is 1 more than what I gave it in the first half.
Very nice.
That math checks out.
Thank you.
The podcast judge has spoken.
I gave it 2, thinking it would be boring and sad. It wasn't sad. It was a little boring. I also would have snipped that Rowena plot and the Gershwin musical, because without her in it, what's the point of that entire
Just
part?
could have been way shorter.
If you're just enjoying the music.
One, I would have, chopped out a whole year block. Yeah, I did enjoy some parts. I like a story about a man getting better and inspiring the youths. But it was like, I want to say 3, but it was both better and worse than that at the same time. So I guess I'm going to say 2.5. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. I don't know. 2.5. Fine. Who cares? 2.5.
Yeah.
Dreyfus. That's what you get.
Wow.
I'm mad that I can't make a decision. I'm uncomfortable. I'm acting out of anger.
Isn't he bad? Didn't we figure that out last
Oh,
time?
is Dreyfus a creep?
He's a creep. He's a lesser creep on the creep scale.
Okay.
Sure.
Oh, makes that
2.5?
scene even grosser with Rowena.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Ugh.
Ay.
You didn't say that out loud during the movie.
Well, I was
because you were too busy focusing on the Gershwin.
All right. 2.5. You creep? Molly, you wanted to give it a 2.5.
I did.
My note just says pessimistic.
Yeah, I liked it actually more than I thought I would. I think I came in here with maybe not as low expectations as Beth, given her semi-traumatic experience. I did want to mention that I really liked Glenn Hadley or Headley, who plays Iris, the Opus. No, not Opus's wife.
This is Opus.
Her first name is Opus.
Opus.
Mrs. Iris
Holland.
Holland. Just did such a beautiful job, and I liked her so much that it made it super hard to like Mr. Holland very much for a lot of the movie. But I agree, the first half was really great. I was very interested in his home life and interested in his son, a little bit interested in music, but also like just a bad dad. And I'm like, maybe we should have watched Mrs. Holland's Opus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because she worked really hard.
Yes.
And I would have really probably enjoyed watching her and Cole more.
Yeah.
But, you know, to your point, Dan, it is about a person getting better in some aspects of his life. I do like Gershwin for as much as I trashed it.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I'm just really conflicted. Like, I feel like the stars don't fully, or not stars, are jars of stardust, Mopus, don't fully reflect like the enjoyability of the movie. But then I think the enjoyability of the movie was watching it with y'all. I were watching it on my own, I would have never made it through.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly not.
I'm just going to keep it at
You
2.5.
barely made it through this time.
I know. I got up at one point. I'd forgotten that Wikipedia is what I do. I had to get back to it.
Yeah. This
When
was
if it-
your Opus.
Sorry, not sorry. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. But yeah, for today, 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't feel like it deserves my harshness. I don't know, you guys.
No, I'm having the same struggle. It's like I don't like this movie, but it's also kind of good.
Yeah,
But
there are
also
moments
some
that are
minutes
great.
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, to tie it back to my parallel that I've been using this entire episode, there were moments in Forrest Gump where it's like, God damn, that Hanks.
Oh, Will Charm.
God damn, that Sinise. Robin Wright.
Yeah.
There were scenes where you're like, oh, this is good acting. This is a good scene. But overall, it's just like, oh, we get it. He made the smiley face T-shirt that was so famous while he was running, and oh, we get it. He I don't know, taught Elvis how to move his hips, and the even the simple good people of America are valuable, and it's just here's a 3-hour movie about Tom Hanks just talking.
Well, I'm so excited that you hate Forrest Gump because I've hated Forrest Gump for a long time.
Great.
So.
Wow.
Come at us.
And the reason
Gumpheads.
is he had to be Southern or people wouldn't have bought it. If you were
good
from
point.
any other region of the United States,
That's
they
true.
would not have gone for it. But because he was from the South, that's why it worked.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Come at me, Fargo viewers.
What?
I don't
What?
know because I think I brought up the same story on Fargo.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, the point is...
Yeah, my ma says life was like a box of chocolate.
chocolate. Surf's up. Chocolate, right? Is that how they talk in California, Dan?
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Chocolate.
Nailed it.
That's his catchphrase. That's how he ends every episode of this podcast, as everybody knows, as all scholars of Totes Recall recall.
It's like it's after midnight. Surf's
Surf's
up
up
chocolate.
Surf's up chocolate.
Hey! Bow, 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 bow.
Where do you go?
We gotta go. Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan DeQuette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.